Well, I gotta say, I enjoyed playing the Super Nintendo, even though I got it a little late in its life cycle. But I got to enjoy several pretty good games before I sold all my old games, but got a few back, along with a few new ones. One of the games I'll always have fond memories of is Super Mario World, and that's what I'm going to talk about in this review right now.
This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, paisanos.
Hey there, paisanos! And fellow YouTubers out there, welcome to Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews. My name is Dual, better known to as the Big D, back again with another video game review. This time it's gonna be a very good classic, and it's one of the games that was released on the 16-bit Super Nintendo. Now, before I got to enjoy more of the Snes, I was still on the ES at the time, and I enjoyed all three of the Super Mario Bros. Games, even though it would be a few more years before I had to manage to beat Super Mario Bros. 2 that got released to us. But this one proved to be an even bigger challenge when this came out, just as much as Super Mario 3 did. So now, without further ado, I bring to you Super Mario World. Super Mario World was the very first Super Nintendo game originally released in Japan in November of 1990, and in August of the following year, it came to North America and then to Europe and other territories. Or should I say countries? Well, you get the point. This would be the fourth Super Mario game to continue after Super Mario 3. Now, Nintendo, of course, published the game and was developed by Nintendo EAD, which, of course, that was for entertainment analysis and development. Okay, yes. It was released in Europe and Australia in 92. Anyway, Mario and his brother Luigi are back, and this time Princess Peach, well, when she was originally Toadstool at the time, are visiting Dinosaur Land. But the prince has been taken by mean old King Koopa himself, Bowser, again. But to make matters worse, his Koopalings are back as well. The gameplay is similar to that of the earlier games. Players control Mario through a series of levels in which the goal is to reach the goal post at the end. Anyway, this is often considered one of the best games in the series and is cited as one of the greatest video games ever made. And it's gone to sell more than 20 million copies worldwide, making it the best-selling SNES game of all time. It also led to an animated television series, which came out the same year it got released in North America. And it has been re-released numerous times. On the 1994 re-release of Super Mario All-Stars, and they added that. Then as Super Mario Advance 2 for the Game Boy Advance in 2001, as well as on the Virtual Console for the Wii U, new Nintendo 3DS, and more recently as part of the SNES Classic Edition. And in 2019, it was released for Nintendo Switch Online as part of the Classic Games service. Now, the plot of the game is detailed in the instruction booklet. After bringing peace to the Mushroom World in the last game, our favorite plumbing brothers, Mario and Luigi, decide to go on vacation with the princess to a place called Dinosaur Land, a prehistoric themed world swarming with dinosaurs and other enemies. While resting on the beach, the princess is captured by Bowser. When the brothers wake up, they try to find her, and after hours of searching, come across a giant egg in the forest. And it suddenly hatches, and out of it comes a young dinosaur named Yoshi, who will become part of the Mario franchise, who tells them his dinosaur friends have also been imprisoned in eggs by Bowser's kids, the evil Koopalings. So now you must go through 8 big, challenging environments filled with many hazards and enemies, old and new. Anyway, the game has similar gameplay to the earlier games, but it introduces new elements as well as dashing and jumping. The player can also fly or float with the aid of the cape feather, which you can get either from a question mark block or by the super Koopas if you encounter them. There's also the pea balloon that can make you really big and help you float, but only for a limited time. And there's also a new spin jump move, which can also protect you from while trying to avoid hazards and what have you. Well, except for spikes and enemies that can't be defeated. The game has 96 exits, well, level exits overall in total. Now, the player navigates through the game via two game screens, an overworld map, and a side scrolling course. Just like the previous game, the overhead map, displays an overhead representation of the current world and has several paths leading from the world's entrance to a castle. Now, paths connect to action panels, fortresses, ghost houses, castles, and other map icons, and allow players to take different routes to reach the world's goal. Now, moving the on-screen character to an action panel or castle allows access to that course. The majority of the game takes place in these linear levels populated with obstacles and enemies, which involves the player traversing the stage by dashing, jumping, and dodging or defeating enemies. The player is given a number of lives, which are lost if Mario comes into contact with an enemy while small Mario, or fall into a bottomless pit, get crushed, touch lava, or if your time limit runs out. If you run out of lives, your game is over, but however, you can continue from the most recent save point. That's right, this is one of the first games where you can actually save your game. Well, for Super Nintendo anyway. Well, a successfully complete, it can also be for a successfully complete castle, fortress, or high house by selecting continue. Each world features a final stage with a boss defeat. Each of the 7 worlds feature fortresses controlled by one of the Koopa Links. And the player also battles Bowser in his castle in the 7th and final world. Yeah, I did kind of make a mistake, but there is actually 8 overall because there's actually take that back. There's actually 9 overall because you have the Star Road, which I'll get to that in a little bit, as well as the special levels. The game introduces a multiplayer option which allows 2 players to play the game by alternating turns at navigating the overworld map and accessing stage levels. The first player controls Mario and the second player controls Luigi. In addition to the power-ups from previous games like the Super Mushroom and Fire Flower, there's the Cape Feather, which gives Mario cape and the ability to fly as well as glide in the air and use the cape as a sail. The game also introduces the ability to store an extra power-up in a box at the top center of the screen. For example, if the player obtains a Fire Flower or a Cape Feather, then a Super Mushroom will appear in the box. But if you get hit by an enemy, the stored item in the box will automatically drop. Alternatively, the player can manually release the stored item at any time. Then, of course, Yoshi's been introduced, and you can ride on him to eat most enemies. Now, if Yoshi attempts to eat a Koopa or a shell, he can spit it out and fire at enemies. If the player fails to spit the shell out within a certain amount of time, Yoshi will swallow it, rendering it useless. When holding any Koopa shell in his mouth, Yoshi gains the ability that corresponds to its color. A blue shell enables Yoshi to fly, a yellow one causes him to emit dust clouds that defeat nearby enemies, and a red one allows him to produce 3 fireballs that defeat enemies. Flashing Koopa shells produce all 3 abilities, while green produce none. The default Yoshi is green, but the game also has hidden blue, yellow, and red ones. The player can obtain each colored Yoshi by finding its egg in hidden areas and feeding 5 enemies or 1 star, Super Mushroom, Fire Flower, or Cape Feather, causing the baby Yoshi to mature. Although the main objective is to navigate through 7 worlds to reach the end of the game. The player can beat the game much faster by using the secret road routes. To access a hidden world, the player needs to find keys scattered throughout the game's levels. When a key is found, it must be brought to a keyhole to unlock either a new level or a star road. Exploring these secret stages can lead to other stages, such as the special world. Completion of that permanently changes some of the enemy sprites and alters the overworld map's color scheme. So anyway, I thought that was really cool. But anyway, you'll face off against various things. Well, aside from the Koopas and what have you, you'll face new versions of the Goombas, which you can pick up. There's also the Paragoombas, the Bob-ombs, and the Piranha Plants, which are actually jumping ones. The Fire Lotuses, which are much more different than what they were in the last game. You only encounter them in water and what have you. You also have the Busy Beals. You'll have Bullet Bill, of course, and the new Bonsai Bill, as well as Torpedo Ted. Let's see, and the Boos are back, as well as a new one, the Big Boo. There's the Dry Bones, Eries, and let's see, they even brought back Pokey and Sparks from the second game. So anyway, yeah, there's lots of enemies, as I mentioned, old and new, like the Monty Moles, the Mega Moles, Rex, um, the Dino Torch, and oh, again, the list goes on. Ever since its release, it has gotten numerous great reviews and what have you. And what can I say? I will say this is just a great continuation of the Super Mario franchise after Super Mario 3. I mean, it was just so incredible. Let me see now. Hang on a second. Shigeru Miyamoto, the creator of the Super Mario franchise, said that this was actually his favorite Mario game. And Yoshi became one of the most important characters in the franchise, reappearing in later Super Mario games and in nearly all sports and spin off games. Yoshi appeared as the main playable character in the prequel game released in 1995, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, which helped lead to multiple video games focused on the character. There was even a Super Mario World clone called Super Mario's Wacky Worlds. It was in development for the Philips CDI device by NovaLogic, but was cancelled because of the console's commercial failure. There'd also be some other games. Yoshi had his own game, which was a puzzle game, similar to, well, games like, oh, I don't know. I don't think it would be similar to other games. I mean, if you've played games like Tetris or even, oh, Dr. Mario, yeah. Anyway, this game has a large ROM hacking scene with fans using applications such as Lunar Magic to create levels and insert new graphics, music, and mechanics and all that jazz. Now, in a similar way, this is one of the 4 games whose assets are available in Super Mario Maker, a custom level creator released for the Wii U in 2015. In its port to Nintendo 3DS in 2016 and its 2019 sequel. The latter adds new snow and nighttime themes for Super Mario levels, accompanied by new music composed by Koji Kondo, who, of course, was the composer for this. So, anyway, I think it's really good and what have you. You find alternate exits. It takes some practice, though, but you also have to find keys to access different places you can go to and secret areas. At the end of a castle, you have to face each of the seven Koopalings before you enter the big castle and face Bowser in this flying machine, which believe me will prove to be a wee bit of a challenge than the rest of the Super Mario games in ways. But overall, Super Mario World is a wonderful game. If you've never played this, shame, shame. But you can still check this game out. If you haven't tried it yet, I'd say this is one game you must check out. If you have a Super Nintendo or maybe one of those clone consoles, then this would be a game for you. As long as you can get it for a decent price, then you should have no trouble. I might not show you any shots of the game though, because yeah, I think you've seen what these games are like and what have you. Let's see now. But anyway, yeah, just check them out. You can find full walkthroughs and play of the game here on YouTube if you want to check it out. But I'm sure a lot of you have already have played Super Mario World, so I won't show no freeze frames or anything just in case. So I think you get the message. Anyway, that's gonna do it. I would definitely recommend you play Super Mario World. Definitely. So, have you played Super Mario World before? If you have, let me know what you thought down in the comment section below. And do you consider it to be your favorite Mario game? Let me know that too. If you like this video, click the like button, subscribe, and be a part of the Big D Nation. Join me next time when I bring to you my next Saturday morning TV log on Tango and the Guardians of the Magic. And if you like this, check out these other Mario videos. In the upper left-hand corner is the TV log on the Super Mario Bros. Super Show from 1989. The upper right-hand corner is my spoiler-free review of the brand new animated feature, the Super Mario Bros. Movie from this year. Or if you'd like, check out one of my earlier videos where I reviewed the original trilogy for the NES. And the bottom right hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe if you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc. Then I'm your guy. Thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm the Big D saying see ya and arrivederci. Bye now.